Lauren, you are live. You are live.
Very good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first live dive of today. Now, quick introductions. We have Emil on camera, and we have Patrick on the surface. And right now, we are down at 15.7 meters. So we're starting at our deepest point on the sand, and we are going to go slowly shallower and shallower throughout the dive. So please remember to send in your questions and even your wish list for the dive on all the relevant streams, Facebook and YouTube. But if you are using Twitter, make sure you use that hashtag diveLIVE. Now, I hope to see a turtle. It's been a while since I've seen a turtle, and I would just love to see an octopus. So, fingers crossed. Now, over to you, Pat. Tell me what you would like to see today.
Yeah, I'm also very down to be seeing a turtle today as well, so I'll back you on that one, Lauren.
Send out the turtle vibes.
Yes, most definitely. And Love Dogs would like a porcupine fish.
Oh, okay. That shouldn't be too difficult. I will keep my eyes open for a porcupine fish. Now, the visibility is not great this morning. It's not bad, but it's not great. There's a lot of plankton in the water today, so you can see all the fish are out feeding, plucking the little bits of plankton from the water column. So hopefully we can find some awesome things to show you.
Yeah, it does look like there's quite a bit of a congregation of fish feeding today. So it looked like in that group there was blue chromis, which were the smaller blue ones, and Creole wrasse, which were larger and had a bit more of a purple colour. And we got a barjack swimming right through the middle of the screen there. So they are part of the trevallies or the jacks, depends on where you're from. And they are generally not seen by themselves. Usually they like to hang around other animals and steal their food off them.
Yes, barjacks are what I call the naughty ones. The naughty ones of the reef are always stealing food of the other fish. So if you have been following us, oh, I wonder what fish this is. Emil, can you see that sort of long, whitey silver one? Pat, can we get an ID on this?
Yes, we most definitely can. I don't think we've had this fish live before. I have a hunch as to what it is, but I'm just going through the ID guide now, and I will let you know.
Similar to like a coney or maybe a sea bass, but I could be completely off. So let's get to that ID book, and this could be the fish of the day. If you have been following us, you will know that we are trying to identify a new fish species on each dive that we haven't showed you or spoken about before. So this could be the one of today. It has those big, clumsy looking pectoral fins similar to that of a hamlet. So I am guessing it's in that family.
Well, I think this might be another colour variation of the coney.
Oh, really? It does look very similar to a coney.
Yeah, and it's got those two black dots just at the start of its tail there. So I believe that this is another coney.
Is it a specific species or is it just coney?
Just a coney. So the species is Cephalophus fulva.
Alrighty, okay. So we have showed you a coney before, so that means I'm still on the lookout for another fish species. I'm not trying to go too small. The smaller the fish, it's a lot more complicated for us. So I will try to find a bigger fish to identify. Now there's not much happening on the sandy bottom today. So we are just going to go a little bit shallower up onto the reef. And please do send in your questions. Me and Pat will do our best to answer them.
Yes, most definitely. And we have Proud Cat Mama is wanting to see a shark today, if you could make that happen.
I wanted to see what, sorry?
A shark.
Oh, I would love to see a shark as well. It's really not common to see sharks around here. I don't know why. You can sometimes see a nurse shark, but they are the sleepy sharks, so they're not often hidden under ledges resting. But yeah, I would love to see a shark as well. It's just not that common, I'm afraid.
Now we can see that there's quite a few gorgonians sticking out as we come our way through.
We are not going to have a gorgonian dive. I am going to point out something else. Gorgonians are Pat's favourite, but not mine. So let's see what we can find you.
And Betty was just asking how you spell coney, and you got it mostly right. It just doesn't have two O's, so it's C-O-N-E-Y.
Yes. So we do have a beautiful rock beauty over here. Now it's been a while since we've had a good sighting of a rock beauty. Let's see if Emil can get this for us. Where have you gone?
So for everyone watching along, we're going to be looking out for a yellowfish with a large black patch on the back of its body, or on the side of its body.
Yes, it's been a while since we've had one. They are quite skittish and they are quite shy. Oh, barjack. Now, one thing I've noticed about these barjacks is they're coming closer and closer to us. They seem to be really curious and genuinely not afraid to come very close to us. Okay, so the rock beauty disappeared, but that's not a problem. We're going to find some other fish for you. Oh, there's a little juvenile hamlet here.
Oh, yes.
Can you see that?
Yeah, so that looks like the barred hamlet.
Yes, and it's very small. This is a young one, not quite an adult. In hamlets, I was never that interested in this sort of family of fish before. But recently I've become quite obsessed with them. I'm enjoying seeing these fish, and they happen to be really interesting. A lot of the fish we talk about on diveLIVE are sequential hermaphrodites. But all that means is that they will start off one sex, for example female, and later in their life they will become another sex, for example male. But with hamlets, they're actually synchronous hermaphrodites, and that means that they have both male and female reproductive organs at the one time. So they don't change later in life, they can be either or. So when it comes to hamlets mating, normally the first one who sort of initiates the courtship will choose what sex to be. And this is normally male. So the first one will sort of say, hey, right, I'm a male. So the other one will just follow suit and obviously become female. So they can use both reproductive organs, which is just crazy. So they are different from the likes of the wrasse family, one we refer to as synchronous hermaphrodites. Hamlets can also produce hybrids. So this means that two different species can actually produce a hybrid species. And there's reported to be quite a few hamlets which are hybrids. So the more I've learned about this family, the more fascinating I've become.
They are great little fish, and something interesting that I've learned about them is that they are only found in the Caribbean as well.
I've started to realise how cute they are. They have these really clumsy pectoral fins, the fins that come out of each side, and they're very, very beautiful in their colour patterns and colour variations. So this one in front of us right now, I would say is about 6 centimetres.
That is a very small fish.
Very small.
But cute at the same time.
Now another fish that that I don't think we've ever mentioned before, oh, it is swimming away from us, is a yellow snapper. We see it a lot, but we rarely talk about it. So that one swam ahead, and Emil is pointing out either a trunkfish or a cowfish. All the fish are very shy this morning.
So that looks like a honeycomb cowfish, is it?
Yes, it is a honeycomb cowfish, but it just got chased off by a damsel or something, so I think it's currently in hiding. It just darkened its colours. Were you able to see that?
I didn't see that, but we do have the camera on it right now.
Yes, it's trying to sort of camouflage itself away in between the rock there.
And we can see towards the front of its body, on top of its eyes there, it has two distinct horns, which is where they get the name cowfish from. Now these are a defensive structure for them, and if broken off can actually regenerate.
Yes, and they're just to deter predators, so that sort of boxy looking uncomfortable skeleton and the spines at the front and the back of the body are just to warn off predators from eating them. So the more uncomfortable they look, the less likely a predator is going to come along and snap it up. They can actually move faster than you think for having such a boxy, cumbersome skeleton. This might be a fishy dive after all.
Yes. Steering clear of the gorgonians.
I have really got into identifying the fishies. I am really enjoying it. It's not easy and sometimes we get it wrong, but the more you actively try to ID the fish, the more you start to learn about the different body design, about the different adaptations, and about the different family groups. So this is our current project.
So Lauren, Marcy was asking about the cowfish, wondering do they change their spots and colours?
No, they don't. With a lot of fish, it can look to us like they're changing their colours, but most of them are not. Most of them are just lightening or darkening their pigment in order to blend in with the background. We see a lot of fish doing that using special skin cells called chromatophores, and it's not really a form of camouflage. It's believed a lot to be communication. So they can be signaling many different things that we probably don't understand, such as warnings, or I'm feeding, or signaling to others within their species things that we just can't comprehend. So they don't change their colour as such, but they are able to lighten and darken their skin cells.
That's very interesting. And well, we've got another question here about the cowfish. So we learned that they can regenerate their horns, and the tiniest ghost is asking, can other fish regenerate limbs?
I don't believe fish can regenerate limbs as such. Now we know that the octopus can regenerate its arm, and brittle stars can regenerate their arms, but fish themselves, I don't believe you can regenerate limbs. And if they were to receive an injury to one of their fins, I do believe to a small reef fish like the ones we see here, it wouldn't really be possible to survive. Now I see many turtles missing their big flippers. I've actually seen one turtle missing 3 flippers. So animals like that's obviously a reptile, are able to adapt and survive, but small reef fish, I don't think so.
And Proud Cat Mama was wondering, does that cowfish have teeth?
Does that cowfish have teeth?
Yes.
Yes, very, very, very small ones. Minuscule to us. Even these tiny damselfish that, maybe we can have a look at this one, Emil, that we always refer to. Oh, there's 2 tiny baby pufferfish here as well. So this tiny damselfish that you can see is very aggressive, very territorial, and sometimes they will come and bite you on the head. So even these fish have teeth, but they're just very, very small. Oh, we're getting such a great range of questions today.
Yeah, it's great, and keep them coming in, and if you're using Twitter, be sure to be hashtagging diveLIVE.
Are you able to see the little pufferfish there as well?
Yeah, we could. Is that the sharp-nosed puffer? But it looks like we have a cleaning shrimp here doing a little dance.
Yes, we do. I can just see that. Right now we have a corkscrew anemone, and right in front of it we have a Peterson shrimp doing a dance.
It's really shaking its tail feathers there.
It is, it's twerking. And it's doing this for a reason. It's quite amusing to watch, and I'm just going to go a little bit back, because what this shrimp is doing is advertising its cleaning services. It's shaking those tail feathers, as Pat said, to say, hey, I'm a cleaner shrimp, come over here and I'll clean you. So maybe if me and Emil just stay a little bit back, we might actually get to see some cleaning action. Wouldn't that be awesome? So just like the cleaner fish, we regularly talk about cleaner fish, cleaner shrimp just act in the same way. So they just advertise themselves to clients. Yes, that's what they call them, clients. And they will say, hey, I'm a cleaner, come over here, I'm gonna clean you. And they will also, just using their little pincers and claws, they will also pluck off ectoparasites, algae, or even clean damaged wounds. So that's their function on the reef. But there's no point in being a cleaner if you can't advertise it, right? So that's what the shrimp is doing. It's hilarious to watch, but it needs to let people know that it is a cleaner shrimp, and that is what he's going to do. And we regularly see this species of shrimp right next to a corkscrew anemone. They also have a symbiotic relationship. Now these shrimps is about an inch long, and yet they will clean some of the biggest animals on the reef. For example, moray eels, even sharks, even mantas, stingrays, eagle rays. So for being such tiny little guys, they're really not afraid to clean away the bigger animals.
Yeah, that's kind of the added of being a cleaner is, oh, and we're moving from one shrimp to the next. So we've got a banded coral shrimp here.
Yes, a banded coral shrimp. And obviously you can see why they're called banded. I used to previously call them the banded boxer shrimp because of their stance. They've got quite an aggressive wide stance, which kind of looks like that of a boxer. And the way they move kind of looks a bit threatening, as if they say, hey, let's fight. This is also another cleaner. If you look at these big, long antennas, you can see that this one can also clean.
And if we look at the hole in the background, there are some tentacles moving out just behind where this cleaner shrimp is. There's a little hole. Yeah, that hole there, Emil, there is some
it's coming out.
Yeah, what do you know what this is, Lauren? Can you see properly?
Oh, wow. We don't normally see these banded boxers coming completely out. Are we able to have a look at it? Is it just a... Oh, it's a dead one.
Yeah, that doesn't look like it's moving at all.
Yeah, so this is just a skeleton. Oh, wow. But it must be a fresh one, because these skeletons do not last for long before something would come and eat it up. So sorry, Pat, what were you saying is the inside the hole? So this hole that we're seeing on camera, there was some tentacles coming out. I'm not sure if it was an octopus's tentacles, but there's something coming out, there's something pushing its tentacles out right now. Oh my goodness, imagine if it was an octopus. Well, I'm not going to get too close, because the octopus can be very shy if that's what it is. So if I stay a little bit behind, Pat can direct me if anything comes out. But that must be something in there that has eaten, possibly, this shrimp. Oh, how exciting. You don't see anything. What did the tentacle look like?
They were a bit strange looking. I saw, I think, about 4 or 5 coming out, and they looked very small and thin and reddish coloured.
So everybody watching, you actually have a better view than I do. The underwater biologist always just stays a little bit behind the cameraman so that you can get a better view. And we don't see anything.
Yeah, it hasn't put its tentacles out again, but we'll definitely watch this back later and see if we can find out what that was.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, that was a dead coral, well, bandied coral shrimp. Sorry about that, I didn't even realise it was dead. So what we saw was just the exoskeleton, the outside shell. And actually, when I was able to see it there, the abdomen, oh sorry, I thought I saw something. The abdomen has been removed. So something has just, literally just now, eaten that shrimp for breakfast.
Now, Tracy seems to think that those tentacles I was seeing were the arms of a brittle star, and that could be very correct, actually.
Well, I didn't see them, but it very well could be. Oh, what a tiny juvenile tang here. I wonder if Emil can get that little yellowfish. So what we're seeing right now, hopefully, would you believe it, is the juvenile version of the blue tang. Now, many of you have asked us to show this in the past. We regularly talk about the blue tang. It's quite a common character on the live dive. And this little yellowfish is actually the juvenile version. So the blue tang has 3 different colour phases. Now, the juvenile one that you can see right now is the yellow phase. Completely bright yellow. Oh, is that a midnight parrotfish? It is, it's a midnight one. We've never showed you this before.
Is it a big one?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a big one.
Nice.
Are you able to see this?
Yes, we can see it very well. So can you give us a size estimate of this one? Because it is a lot bigger than normal parrotfish.
I would say about 70 centimetres, which is about, I think, just under 30 inches. Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So this is the midnight parrotfish. We've never really had it on a live dive. And this is the biggest of all parrotfish. I had never seen it before until I come to the Cayman, and it's really blue in colour, really navy blue like midnight, and it has these big beaks, very often covered in algae, so it looks like a moustache. Did you get a good view of it?
Definitely. So we have lost sight of it now, but we're coming back around.
Oh, I'm so excited by that. They're definitely much bigger in presence than the other parrotfish that we see. But they're quite shy, so it's really swimming away from us.
I mean, it's a very distinctive feature of parrotfish to use their pectoral fins or their side fins to propel themselves in the water. So we can see this one here is almost flapping its wings like a bird.
Oh, Emil, I don't think we're going to catch up with that. It was a fast one. Okay, there's another one for our list then, the midnight parrotfish. But let me just finish what I was telling you about the tangs, because it's so interesting. So that little yellowfish was, in fact, a blue tang, and it starts off its life as being yellow. And then, as it gets older and bigger, it will start to turn into a pastel blue. Eventually, it will finish its life as the blue tangs that we see here, which are a much darker blue. Sort of like a royal blue, I guess. So yeah, that's how fish can look completely different. And another trick on how difficult it is to identify. Now, I think I saw a lovely hamlet here on the tree after that parrotfish. Let me just see if I can see it.
And Lauren, Steve was just quickly wanting to know whether the rainbow parrotfish is bigger than the midnight parrotfish.
I don't believe so. I think the midnight is bigger, but might have. Oh, there we go, indigo hamlet.
Oh, beautiful.
But we might have to check on that parrotfish one. It's just gone round the corner.
So the rainbow parrotfish and the midnight both get about the same size range. They can max out at about 4 to 5 feet, or just under a metre, just over a metre.
So we're just waiting on this glorious indigo hamlet to come round the corner. And just to let you know, I am on 110 bar. Oh, there it is over there. It's glorious in its colours. Can you see it yet, Emil?
Oh, we just got a quick glimpse of it. There we go. So right in the middle, that bright blue and white striped fish there. So this is a indigo hamlet. We saw the barred hamlet before, and this is another variation.
Yes, that's 2 different hamlets on one dive. And I do see an adult blue tang as well, so we will move to that one to show you the adult form of that little yellow fish. It's shy though. There is actually a species called the shy hamlet, isn't there?
Yes, there is actually.
There is actually a hamlet called the shy hamlet.
So we can see that this indigo hamlet has very similar bar patterns to what the barred hamlet that we got before was, and they are very similar in form, a lot of these hamlets, and they can also hybridize. So that means that 2 different species of hamlet can produce offspring together.
Oh, it's such a pretty fish. So many of them are pretty, but this is a particularly beautiful one. So let's go find a blue tang so that we can show you the adult version of that little fish.
And we actually have a couple of questions here on the tangs as well. So Proud Cat Mama was asking whether blue tangs are surgeon fish, and yes they are.
Yes they are.
And John wants to know, what tangs are algae eaters?
Sorry, what was that question?
What tangs are algae eaters?
What tangs are algae eaters?
Yes.
You mean like which species eat algae?
Yeah, which species of tangs are algae eaters? I think that's what he was asking.
Okay, well, I think they all are. I believe all tangs are herbivores, which means they will eat algae. Correct me if I'm wrong though, Pat.
No, I think you're completely right there.
So I am just looking for a blue tang for you. They normally are found in schools, but they can be found in different social aggregations. Schooling is the most common one, and that's mainly because safety in numbers. If they're in this big school, then they're kind of less likely to get munched by a predator, but they obviously have to sort of compete with one another for the food. They can be found on their own, which was one I just saw, and this is called wandering. So it just means they're wandering on their own, so they're not quite protected, but they are able to eat up all the food that they find. And we do have one ahead. So now you're going to get to see the exact fish that I am talking about.
Now, sorry, Lauren, I'm just going to have to get you to take the reins for a little bit. We are getting rained on here, and we're just trying to cover up the equipment.
Sure. The weather does change quite dramatically on us. Emil, there's a blue tang in front. Can you just capture it for everyone? So it's not raining underwater, so I can, oh, there we go. I hope you're getting a really good clear view of this beautiful blue tang. And there's actually a pale blue tang underneath it. There's two color phases together. So you can see these are quite dark blue, and they have sort of like a bright blue coloration around the edges of the body. And this is the final adult form of the yellowfish that we were looking at earlier. So you can imagine the confusion caused when you're trying to learn all the fish. You wouldn't automatically say that yellow one was a blue tang. And they're really beautiful fish. So as I was mentioning, the social complexes, you do have the wandering, the stooling, and you can also have the sort of territorial approach, where it will just find an area of reef and be really territorial with it. So those are the three social complexes that are displayed by these herbivores. Now they do have sort of pursed lips, little lips that come out, and these are designed just to pluck bits of algae off the coral. They're great herbivores in a way, but also not so great in another way. The thing about blue tangs is they feed fast and they feed heavy. They graze algae almost all day. And the reason for this is they're not so good at digesting it. They eat a lot, but they're not really able to digest cellulose properly. And that is just a component of algae. So they're not able to digest it, they're not able to get the full nutrition from it, and that's how they have to feed a lot more. That is why we see them feeding all day long. Now they appear to us as bright blue, but actually they're able to biofluoresce. So if you put them under UV light, they will appear an emerald green. It's amazing. They look completely different. And a lot of fish are like that. When you put them under UV light, you will see patterns emerge, especially on the face of a fish, that we are not able to see. And that is because fish's eyes are so much better than ours, and they can see a much wider color spectrum. So they will have markings on their face that will be used to communicate with each other. And we are not able to see this until we put the fish under a special light. So Pat, are you still there?
Yes, so we are all good now.
Glad to hear it. We are in a tropical part of the world, so the heavens do open and the rain does come down.
Alright, so looks like we've got a couple of different fish here. Do you want me to have a go at identifying?
I would like you to identify the spotted one.
Yeah,
the
sure.
Very small spotted one with the greenish head. Is that possible? Are you getting a good enough view of it?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm just having a look through now. I will report back with what I find.
Sure. So we are at 7.5 meters. So as you know, we started on that sandy bottom and we have made our way shallower as there really wasn't much happening down there. And there's a lot happening up here. So hopefully Pat's able to get an IV for us on this one. It's very cute and it's got really red eyes.
So this one is actually a juvenile stoplight parrotfish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is its juvenile phase.
Oh, how cool is that? I feel like this dive was all about the juveniles.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's good.
Sorry, what was that, Pat?
No, you go.
So just to complete the track that we're on, we should try and find you an adult stoplight. So Emil, get looking. You've just seen the juvenile. Let's see if we can find the adult, male or female. I just saw one. And what I mean by that is the male and female also have completely different colorations. The parrotfish are a very confusing family, and we have a female over here. A female stoplight. Munching away on the algae. Let us know when you get it on view, Kat.
Yeah, definitely. Or is it... oh, yep, so we can see that brown mottled fish just above the algae there with the big flaring gills. That is a female stoplight parrotfish. So this is what they will transition into after their juvenile phase.
Yes. And then they're not done yet. There is another transition after this, and that is into the male phase.
Yeah, so...
They're really beautiful fish. And they do have these strong beak-like teeth. Oh, there's more than one actually. Where they are able to just scrape off the algae. Now, parrotfish are famous for their pooping activities because they swallow so much coral. When they're scraping at the algae, they accidentally ingest the coral. It gets broken down in their stomach, and the end product is sand. So these guys, if you watch them for long enough, they are always pooping out sand, and they can poop out up to 90 kg per year. So that's about 200 pounds, is that right?
Yes, that's right, Lauren.
I'm always checking my conversion. I struggle on land, but try to do it underwater, and it's even trickier.
So it looks like we've got a banded butterfly fish right here.
Yeah, we do. It's beautiful. And there's some four-eyed ones hanging around as well. So this banded butterfly has obviously got its name from the black bands running down its body. And one of them will always run down its head, covering its eye. And this is actually quite a unique feature of the butterfly fish. They do always try to disguise their eyes. So because the band is running down, the predators might not be able to see the eye, and then they become confused. They're not sure where is the head and where is the tail. So butterfly fish have many adaptations for this in order to escape the predators. And the first one is that body design. If you look at that small, thin, disc-like body, you can see straight away that it's designed to sort of flutter away like a butterfly to get rid of the predators. Now there are some four-eyed butterfly fish I'd like to show you as well. And these actually even have a false eye. They have a big black spot at the back of their body, which looks like an eye, but it's obviously not. And this acts as a false eye. Another way to confuse a predator.
Yeah, their body shape and design perfectly suits their lifestyle habits, just like with all fish down here, I guess. But so we also saw that they have a very pointed snout, and this is because they feed on the polyps of gorgonians and other corals. And anyone who's familiar with the structure of a coral will know that a polyp is a tiny little animal extending out of the coral, and the snouts that they have are perfect for sucking them out even when they are not fully extended.
So we just have here a beautiful egg patch. Let's see if the male can get close up to these beautiful purple eggs, which are the eggs of these sergeant majors that you can see dancing around. So Emil's going to zoom in, but not get too close to the egg. Are you able to see them?
Yeah, so this purple patch, this circle of purple, that is thousands of sergeant major eggs.
Yeah, so these sergeant majors are in the damselfish family, and they're much bigger than the sort of general damselfish we do see. And they are egg layers that lay these purple eggs, and they attend to them. They completely look after the eggs, and in order to aerate them, to sort of blow them with oxygen, they do actually rub themselves against the eggs, and they end up getting a bit purple themselves. Can you see that one doing it?
Yeah, it did that almost right on cue. So this also clears debris from the eggs as well as oxygenating them. And it's going back for a third time. Wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, there's so much fish action here in the shallows.
So this male here will also aggressively defend the nest as well as taking care of the eggs. So anything that comes close will be met with a very sharp, darting, almost spear tackle from this fish.
Yes, I can assure you Emil is quite far away, and because we've got that zoom, we're able to get you guys nice and close to the action without Emil having to get too close himself.
So this... Sorry, Lauren.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so this Sergeant Major will look after these eggs for about 6 days until they hatch. And we see it there chasing some fish away.
It's a little bit hard to hear you now, Kat. There's a background noise, I think.
Is that any better?
Yes, that is better. Right, Emil, shall we try and see if we can find some more fish? We are very much in the shallows now, which is sometimes a lot more active. So let's see what we can find.
And proud cat mama, to answer your question, it is 6 days for the eggs to hatch for the Sergeant Major.
Is that the Sergeant Major egg?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we've got some parrotfish ahead right now as well. Emil is on the parrotfish.
Yeah, we can see one really going ham on a coral there, picking off all the algae.
All are, I think. These are the striped parrotfish, I believe. But maybe you should look that up, Pat.
Yeah, I can definitely look that up.
Because the striped parrotfish and the princess parrotfish look really similar. I just love the fact that one of them is called a princess parrotfish.
So I reckon you were right with the striped parrotfish, because this one has 2 distinct white stripes, whereas the princess parrotfish has 3 white stripes.
Yeah, so this is the striped parrotfish, but these are very small, so I think they are juveniles. Now you seem to find a lot more parrotfish in the shallows. There seems to be a lot more algae down here for them than in the slightly deeper waters.
And so the males of these striped parrotfish will look very similar to the females because there is quite a distinct difference usually, but still with these parrotfish as well, the male is brightly coloured, but they still retain those 2 striped patterns along the body.
Oh, Emil, can we take a look at this fish with the yellow tail? It's extremely beautiful. I hope you're able to see the detail that I can see. It looks like it could be a damselfish, but I'm not sure of the species.
It's a yellow-tailed damselfish.
Oh! Imagine that.
But we can see those really bright neon blue dots across the top of its body there.
So I think we've got quite a few new ones from today.
Yeah, most definitely. So this is a damselfish, which is related to the Sergeant Majors we've seen before, and the blue chromis that we sometimes see here on diveLIVE. So we do get quite a variety of damselfish, but I've noticed this species in particular, the yellow-tailed damselfish, isn't as aggressive as other damselfish.
Which is unusual because they all are quite aggressive, and even the famous Nemo clownfish is part of the damselfish family, so we don't have them here, but They are also territorial and can be very aggressive, just like other damsels. So just to update you, I've got 80 bar now, and I am in the shallows, so this will last me longer than normal, but I have 80 bar. So I'm really enjoying looking at all the fish with you. So we're just going to look around here and see what other fish we can find. Emil is doing a great job because these guys are constantly moving and swimming and hiding. So it's not the easiest thing to put on the camera for you.
And you must have read Sophie's mind because she was just asking for an air check from you, but she also wanted an air check from Emil and myself. Well, I have infinite bar left. I have the whole atmosphere full of oxygen here. And what about you, Emil? How many bar do you have left?
Oh, so he does have 96. It's a little bit of a complicated watch, but I've learned how to read it, and he has 96 bar left. And yes, Pat is on the surface, so he has all the air he wants.
Well,
I'm not sure if you can visually see the difference, but there is quite a difference in the landscape from when we started till now. So we've travelled all the way across the reef for you, from the very deep and the sandy bottom all the way over the reef, and now we're going to cross the shallows. So hopefully you can see through this whole journey we've travelled over quite a few different habitats. And the shallows does happen to be one of my favourites, and this is where you find the really small things, and you find lots of juveniles. So a lot of the juvenile fish will live in the shallows as they're hiding out. It's much safer for them here, and they're protected before they get bigger and they turn into their adult form.
Hey Lauren, we've got a very interesting question here from Proud Cat Mama asking, do fish ever drown?
That is a really interesting question, a very random one. And no, I don't believe they do. Although in saying that, sharks, I've actually found a drowned shark before. So then I guess they can. Shark is a fish, believe it or not. And one time I found an adult lemon shark, a female, who had made a fatal mistake of trying to eat an inflated and very large porcupine fish. So the porcupine fish has inflated to about the size of a football with the spikes, and it has got lodged in the shark's throat. The shark was then not able to pass water over its gills and effectively, drowned. And
and also fish it's not technically drowning, but so fish still do breathe oxygen. They extract dissolved oxygen out of the water, and sometimes this oxygen can be depleted. So if there's no oxygen in the water, or there's no water moving over the fish's gills, then they're essentially drowning. They don't have the oxygen that they need. So in these dead zones or low oxygen zones, then fish can drown in a way.
Yeah, that's what I was going to fish. Don't drown like you or I would, because we have lungs. It's very different. However, if they're not able to get the water pumping out, then... Now we're really in the shallows here, and it's just awesome. I am on the lookout for some squid too. This is the exact area where the squid love to hang out. So you never know, we might bump into a shoal of them while swimming. There's just so many fish down here, and they're all like little miniature versions of the adult ones. It's very cute.
Yes, it's quite often that we see the juveniles or smaller fish hanging. Looks like we Yeah, it looks like a little rain shower.
Yeah, well, that, in effect, that does sort of show what I was saying earlier, that they're constantly pooping sand machine. And although that does sound quite humorous, it's actually integral and crucial for the beach ecosystem. The volume of sand that parrotfish do produce from their body back into the sand. These guys here, like this, but they're obviously grazing on all the algae that is present.
A little bit lately is I'm not sure whether it's this exact school, but whenever we've been in the shallows, we have seen this big group of males hanging around feeding together. And so the purpose for this, I don't know. Do you have any speculations, Lauren?
Actually, there's another big aggregation of chubs. All here are the Bermuda chubs. But chubs are really difficult. It could also be the brassy chub. Maybe Pat can just confirm for us.
Yeah, I'll just get the idea.
We'll try and get a little bit closer for you. It's quite a big school.
Oh, it's difficult to tell, but I believe these are the brassy chubs because they have the horizontal lines running down their body.
You think it's the brassy ones?
Yeah, because of those horizontal lines.
This is a yellowfish with the blue on top. Then we'll wrap up the dive. Now,